Have you ever felt like your business had a deeper purpose, something bigger guiding it, but you weren't quite sure how to tap into it? Well, today's guest, Stephanie Zito, works with the Akashic Records to help entrepreneurs just like yourself do exactly that. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Angels and Destiny show, where we explore spiritual wisdom, healing, and transformation to help you take charge of your destiny. I'm Ray Cownham, founder of Radiant Angel Energy and a spiritual guide and healer, helping you reconnect with your divine presence and create a life of purpose fulfillment through angelic Reiki, guided meditations, and intuitive journeys across past, present, and future lives. Now, the meaning of angel is messenger, and destiny means to make firm and establish. So each week, my guests and I bring you messages to help ground divine wisdom into your everyday life. Now, in today's episode, I'm joined by my wonderful returning guest, Stephanie Zito, a psychic medium, certified hypnotherapist, manifesting expert, and best-selling author who helps entrepreneurs break through energetic blocks and align their businesses with soul's purpose. Now, after experiencing a life-changing awakening in 2007, Stephanie rebuilt her life through intuition, manifestation, and deep healing. She now supports people worldwide through energetic abundance coaching, hypnosis, and her podcast, The Passionate Life. Her work blends practical strategy with spiritual insight to help you grow a business that feels aligned, inspired, and connected to your deeper calling. So, without further delay, hello, Steph, and a very warm welcome back to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you
Hello,
today?
Ray. I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction and inviting me back. It's really good to be here with you.
Excellent. And you always come up with such good wisdom. So, for everyone watching, whether you're joining us live or watching the replay, we'd love you to be part of this conversation. So, let us know what resonates, ask questions, or share your own experiences in the comments. Please don't be shy. So, Steph, why don't you mind us a bit about your journey and how the Akashic Records can support business growth, and why tuning into a business's energetic blueprint is so powerful?
Hmm. Well, we talk a lot about intuition, and I know that you work with intuition as well. And I think, for me, I was really fortunately able to follow my passions throughout a lot of my life, but I never felt like I had landed. There's always this feeling of searching, like I wasn't quite there. And following intuition and leaving a bad relationship, I did end up where I was meant to live. And that really opened up very quickly, manifesting, the life I have now, where now it's been going on 15, 16 years. And I'm married, we've got our kids, we're in this beautiful location, we're in San Diego, I'm doing my dream work. But there's like this real resonance. I'm not sure if people who are listening might recognize this, where something's just off. Like you're not really in the job that you want, or you're meant to be doing something, helping people in a certain way, or even with coaching, if you're a coach, maybe like your messaging, the way you're speaking about your work is just not quite there. I know for me, when I started coaching, I didn't really know how to describe my weirdness, my intuitive parts, and the things that I really do. And so I became a speaker's coach, and I learned how to coach people to speak on stage. And while I was successful at doing that, what was so interesting is what I was really doing was helping people with their inner world. So they could be really aligned, making these really aligned decisions that felt joyful, that felt free, that felt like themselves. And so, along the road of coaching and opening up to my intuition and following what was channeling through me and becoming more intuitive and working with more people and doing more intuitive readings, I landed upon this term called the Akashic Records. And I realized that this library, which has information for our whole soul's journey, is this place that I'd been accessing already for quite a while. I just didn't have the words for it, right? I didn't have the language to call it that. And so what I realized is that, these major leaps, these massive shifts, these movements into alignment, whether it means with a relationship or a location or a job, being able to go into this place where your soul has the information. That information, just imagine that you can go get, what's like the analogy? you can go get like a plastic ring at the dollar store and you can put that on. That's like the advice we might get outside of ourselves. Or you can go like get the best diamond at Tiffany's. And both are available to you. Oh, I should give it a thumbs up. I don't know why it's doing. Yeah, we don't want the plastic ring from the dollar store, from the vending machine. But this is like a pretty like hard, a big analogy, but literally the information that you're going to get from your soul's records is like that Tiffany diamond ring. And if you actually could access either, well, I'm going to go watch some more webinars and I'm going to go listen to some more podcasts and I'm going to go listen to some other people and go look at some more information and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. That's just feeding this place, which is honestly our brains, which I hate to tell you is kind of acting like the dollar store ring. But you're in your intuitive space, your Akashic Records, you're going to get this spot on information that's going to give you quick guidance. It's going to cut through all the BS and cut through the fears and cut through all the sabotage and tell you the truth. What you do with that is now your will, your free will, because sometimes it scares us and we're not sure how it's going to work out. And is it really possible? And are we listening to the signs? And are we waiting? All of this is an exercise in trust, which I truly believe is like one of the main goals and missions for us on the planet, is literally how to learn to lean into greater sourced guidance, to be even closer to who we are actually inside, which is elements, aspects of source, and allowing that same frequency to actually guide us. This is where I've seen literal $1 million ideas land, $1 million moves happen, things open up that were blocked before, people making different changes, whether deepening relationships or moving from them, job offers landing immediately, right? That manifesting. What is it really? It's allowing in that deep alliance, a deep alignment with your soul's truth. So that's a little bit of my background and how I got here. And it's all really mostly been being dissatisfied with things not being in alignment and not giving up until I found it. Stubborn, until I cracked open like the way truly, where we can understand the blocks, get information, something traumatic happened. We find out. You want information, it's there.
Yeah. So how do people sort of like access it? Because, it sounds great, there's this library of all this information, you can get us into Tiffany's, but
yeah.
Okay, yeah, great. But how?
Yeah. So I'm going to say things that if you go look up other trainings, and I do have like a 3-part series on how to access the Akashic Records to get clarity, to clear out a block or some blocks, and then to get your next steps. It's like 1, 2, 3, these 3-part series. So you're going to hear, what you're mostly going to hear, I think, is a little prescriptive, right? Because when we're new to something, we need like a guidebook. We need the roadmap. Like, give me the Siri directions. Like, I don't remember how to get there. I don't know how to get there. So the way I take people in as a way shower, where you've never done it before, I can take you in and you can actually access this space, is not necessarily the same as if you're used to going in there. Like right now, if you and I were in session, I could be in there right now and we could go in there and we could see some things and get some information, or I could help guide you, which I much prefer, to be the way shower and to help get you in there. That said, if I'm getting someone else in there and we're not used to it, I have some clients that like they're there. And so we don't really have to do very much. I just want to check in that we're in the elevated state, that we're in that space, that we're accessing what we call the Akashic Records. That said, I don't think we need to be very dogmatic or gatekeeping around this. I don't think you need a certification to learn how to do this. I think you just need some information and some guidance. So the main thing is to kind of envision or imagine or see yourself as sort of elevating your energy. Like we want to get the energy elevated so we're more matching with this sort of higher frequency, like 5D energy. So, if we're down here and we're worried, that's like lower frequency energy. We're like worried, we're like, I don't know. We do have to kind of shift ourselves into this higher frequency to kind of match that. So we can do that by oming a few times, by grounding ourselves, right? Get into like this higher frequency. And then usually what I do is I guide us to kind of visualize ourselves like moving into like up a light ladder into this Akashic space, the space that I picture it like a cloud. It's like a beautiful cloud. And within this cloud, we're going to find this beautiful door that opens to a library. To go in there, we're not going to go in alone because we don't always know what we're doing. So we can go in there with a guide, have a guide to help us. So we have someone to check in with. We're not sure what we're seeing. We can get a little bit of support. We're not alone. It's reminding us we're not alone. So we go in with a guide. Typically, the way we kind of see it is like you're in this beautiful library. Remember libraries? You go into a library.
Love libraries.
Go into this, define this, like have your question in mind. What do you want to know? It's not so much like, when am I going to meet the love of my life? But like, show me what I meant to know. It's so funny when I say what it's not, it gives me.
Oh, and we've lost Steph. And that's really interesting because normally on this platform, we don't actually get the thumbs up or the thumbs down. So, and that's normally a Zoom thing. So it's interesting that that is actually coming up. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Hello.
Hi, I heard you talking. I'm going to see if there's other things that show up. What is happening? I
I
have
don't know.
not.
It's like your computer has still got Zoom on it.
I don't know. I crossed over. I crossed
Oh my
platforms. I don't
God,
know.
you've got two platforms merged. It's like that's never happened before.
Anyway, sorry, just having a little fun. So to pick up where we left off, we're not really like fortune telling, like, oh, I'm going to meet the love of my life in 3 months. But clearly, we're going to find out more. What's the story? Like, if I'm not matching, like, what's going on, I might find information about what I'm blocking, how I'm blocking love. I'm going to get real information that's actually going to help me, because I might meet someone in 3 months, but if I'm still holding on to that block or that idea around love or the thing I think I can't have, I'm just going to match with that frequency again. So I'm going to get much more interesting, and problem-solving information. Information is going to help me move towards that. It's going to guide me towards it. It's going to help me resolve a block in this soul space. So we go into the library, we pick out this book, we open it, and usually the way I see it, it's sort of like a guided visualization. Like you might see some words or you might see an image, and we don't like reject anything that looks weird. Something that doesn't seem like good enough, or it's just like a hamburger, or it's like a Super Mario Brother, or it's like something like we're like, I don't get that. It doesn't make sense. That's not what I asked for. I didn't come to this drive-through to order this. Well, we're not doing that, because these things sometimes we are such in like the 3D that these guides, the Akash, it's going to give us something a little bit more dense to lead us towards what we need to see. So we go with it. I followed a rabbit down a hole. I followed a hamburger to my grandmother's dining room table. We go with it and we see this beautiful story that gets to unfold, right? You like this, right?
I think they're absolutely brilliant analogies.
Yeah. Yeah, great. So we don't reject the guide. We see something that looks like everything in there is love. There's nothing there that can harm us. So if you see something that looks really like terrible, let's go see what that's about. Let's go explore it. Like, we're here to uncover the shadow. Let's go find out. I've seen things that are energy that is sort of a collective energy that isn't great, but hey, good to know. So we go there, we kind of see, we ask some questions. If you're in a way showing situation, I can really help kind of if you get a little stuck or you're not sure what you're looking at. I might say like, hey, why don't you go and look where your guide is pointing? And then suddenly you see the whole scene. You're like, oh my gosh, there it is. So, or I can help you interpret like what's going on. So we do it, we go through, we see when we're complete, and then we kind of make our way back. It's nice to kind of put the book back, clean up after ourselves, close the door to the library, like we close the records, just sort of, it's a little ceremonial, thank our guide. I usually like to ask if the guide has like a parting gift for us to take with us to help support us. Usually someone gets something very meaningful. And then you descend back down the light ladder and we're back. So that's usually kind of how it goes.
Yeah. And have you ever found that there are people that can't get into the Akashic Records themselves?
Who cannot get into the Akashic Records on their
Mm.
own? So I would say yes. And usually what it takes, so, I've run memberships now for probably since like 2020, starting out with intuition, then moving more into like manifesting mastery. And so I've had some people stay with me for a very long time. And I've had people who at the beginning have said, I don't see anything. I don't know anything going on. And now they're like right in there, and grandpa's coming in and they've got the answers and they're going in on their own. And, they're getting downloads in Shavasana and yoga. Like it really just takes time. And I think it's helpful to have a mentor that you can kind of bounce stuff off of. What I've noticed is if you're not getting in there on your own, well, let's have a way showing session. And then I can be there with you and see if you're not seeing a guide. There's like different questions we can ask that can help you either to see that guide, or maybe that's a distraction and we don't need to really worry about that. We can just kind of go in anyway. Maybe a guide will come in the future. There's some people that are like in their lives feel very stressful, and it's almost hard to like let go of that vigilance in the now enough to entertain what's available in the 5D, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
So what I tend to do is I tend to really walk through like what we don't have to worry about, allowing ourselves to go with the flow. I've also found that another technique that can work is channel writing. If we actually are writing things down, because it can help us get over the hump of like, let's say I'm going in, I'm like, I don't see anything. So I'm like, I don't see anything. And I'm talking to a guide even if I don't see them. Why don't I see you? Well, let's see what they have to say back. Just keep going with it, going with it, going with it. See if you get it. Because sometimes we actually are getting a response. We're just kind of blocking it. Or we're like, that can't be real. I hear that a lot from new people. That can't be real. Well, what if we didn't care? What if it was meaningful regardless? Like, what if that part didn't matter? What if we could like just let go of needing for it to be right or wrong in that binary situation, right? What if it was going to take us somewhere important anyway?
Exactly. And I think sometimes also we forget our imagination. It's actually one of the
Mm,
most powerful things, that what we think we might imagine in isn't actually imagination. It is
mm,
actual information that we're getting, because somebody had to imagine a will,
mhm.
and then a will got created.
Right, exactly. Well, that's the interesting thing. I mean, think about, anything that we literally are using today, right? At some point, like this cell phone, but that would have been, somebody would have thought that's insane, right? Back in 1900, someone thought, oh, I'm going to be talking on this computer to you. Like, that's impossible. What are we talking about? So clearly we're downloading things from a place that is not here in the now. It is from the future. It is from the fifth dimension and beyond. Like these things all exist. We're able just to tap into them. So you're absolutely right. Allowing ourselves to go with imagination, tap into that part of the brain, tap into that expansive place.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. And I think I read somewhere that you have, because I mean, do you have your own personal Akashic records, and it say like you've got a business, has that got its own Akashic records, or rather the same thing?
I think to me, I actually feel like that is a very human question. And I feel like it's a question that we like because we like to have answers. We like to know where things like fit in our bookshelf. Like, where can I neatly place this? I picture really, we're really opening up into the quantum field. Does the quantum field have these little sections? Like, I'd say like yes and no. The quantum field, like, literally has everything possible in existence and that will come into existence, and that doesn't even picture that we live in a um, intergalactic space time that is creation itself. Picture there was a time that Earth didn't exist, right? Picture a time when maybe it was just sound, and before sound it was energy. Picture that like we are in constant creation. So to think that we can place something like our business Akashic Records in this little picture, that that's just a very human in the now concept that wouldn't have existed 4,000 years ago, right? I didn't have a business, an Akashic Records business 4,000 years ago. I was probably just trying to figure out how to make a tool. I was just happy if I had a tool and some skins on me. I don't even know, right?
Yeah.
So if we think of it that way, if it's satisfying to us, I feel like it's like heaven is on a cloud, right? Like, it doesn't matter. It can be and it can't be. It literally can. You can, if it helps you to think of it that way, great. My personal knowing says that it's just there to help us categorize, organize. That's why we think of it as a library. Because oh my God. So if I sent you into a cosmic soup, you might be like, I don't know where to go. But if I send you to a very specific book for a very specific question, you're going to have a better experience getting that specific answer. So if it helps you to think of your business as having its own Akashic Records, then maybe you'll have a better experience getting the answer that you need, because it's helping you categorize that information for yourself in your embodiment.
Yeah, makes sense. And for those of you that are watching, if you've got any questions or queries about the Akashic Records, have you ever been in there
Mm.
yourself? Do let us know whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, because
Yeah.
it'll be interesting. Because I think more and more people now are hearing about the Akashic Records.
Mm,
There's so much
mhm,
more information and so many more people using it.
mm. Well, and what I think is really interesting has been, actually using it for business, right? Like using it for our, even beyond business strategy, because there's so many business strategies out there, leaning into the Akashic Records for a more personalized experience of what our business is here for and how to access that greater abundance within our business. Because I think even now we're in this flux place where, things are changing very quickly. And sometimes we're just actually using strategies and ideas in ways that are just repetitive and even outdated. And we're going to get very different information that may not follow someone else's exact model, but is going to be the exact information that is meant to help you and your business do what the universe does, which is create, expand, grow, right? That is the nature of the universe. And so when you're tapping into your Akashic Records for your business, you're going to actually tap into that information for you. And to be quite honest, a lot of what we are talking about when it comes to business, like, is also somewhat outdated and slow information. $10,000 a month, $100,000 a year, $100,000 a month. All of those are just very like structured, like, well, like, are we even questioning the structure from which that came? Or how are we working our businesses? Do we think we need to work them like a corporate business? Do I need to sit at my desk all day? Right? Like, a lot of the things we're just following are already, they're just because it's how it's always been done. But that's not really what you're going to get in the Akashic Records.
I like it that you are going to get different things rather than the norm, because what we class as the norm is disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
You only have to, everything what you hear every day. What we used to think doesn't really exist anymore, and
Mm-hmm.
we are having to look at new ways of
Mm-hmm.
living and being now.
Mm, exactly. And so if you would like to be in that leadership space and in that space of innovation, I'm not saying you have to figure out an iPhone or how to have a floating car, but the truth is like those who are on the cusp, and I'm really talking to a lot of entrepreneurs, spiritual entrepreneurs who really are moving humanity into this. I don't even know which one to call it, 5D, 12D, whatever, new earth
Whatever.
space, right? But it is an elevated space. It's a space that is more connected to, I'd say, spirit channeled source. It's more elevated, I suppose. Like I think there's even I think I really feel like we're in this cusp of that rising. Like just like we were saying before we got on live, last year was the year of the snake. So if anyone felt that, I definitely felt that. Shedding skins, releasing old contracts. Oh boy, did we release some old contracts. Right? Like people fell away. Maybe you felt abandoned because friends you had who really weren't actually that good for you anyway, like fell away. So it's all making space. If you feel you're like, I don't know what's next, oh, you just wait because here comes the good stuff. If all the stuff that wasn't for you, it wasn't the way you're supposed to go, and maybe that method, that marketing method didn't work, no problem, because we're moving into the year of the horse, right? And the horse is action. The horse is leadership. The horse is your personal power. The horse is strength. So the cool part is that this is the time right now to lean into that, right? To give yourself that spaciousness, not to kind of cut out a lot of the noise and take your time to really lean into what is for you, right? Where are you headed? Where is your business headed? To really get into that expansive space moving into this new year. Because this is the year where I really believe that when you're on that trajectory, you're going to see those things pop up that are going to support you. Some of them might scare you. Some of them might feel too big. You might want to slow yourself down. I definitely know that feeling. But when you know that and you're aware of that, and allow yourself to surrender to it with trust, you can allow yourself to move forward anyway.
Yeah. And I think also, even I've noticed there are time shifts and
Mm,
timelines are changing constantly. What you thought was a
mhm,
timeline no longer exists anymore. Oh, and whatever time you've been doing and having just isn't there. It's like what you think is a day. When you look back, you're like, what have I done that day? But you did stuff, but it's just kind of like moving about. So you just don't know where you are time wise with what is going on. It's just crazy.
mm. Yeah, I was hearing you. It's great. I can still hear you talk about the timelines, and yeah, it's a wild ride right now. Talk about a horse. I have to tell you, kind of an akashic story here because it's just so wild. Like, several years ago, I was doing a lot more of live intuitive readings on Insight Timer, and I remember one woman. What I got for her was to go and do bibliomancy. I think it's called, where you go and you pick off a book and you open the book and you see what's in the book and the book is for you. And she did this and she opened it and it came to like this picture of like it was like a scene with like a horse. And she's like, I think I just got the message. This is for me. So I got that and I saw it. And honestly, and I looked up what horse meant and whatnot. And at the time, I can't say that I felt like it super resonated, but isn't it so interesting how now that it's the year of the horse, I'm like, oh, wow, okay. I understand. I kind of see it. Like I see what was being told to me then that is here for me to harness, so to speak, and to run with now. It's sort of like I have that vehicle now, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's and the freebie that I offer for anyone who's listening, I have this wealth bundle. There's 4 trainings within the wealth bundle, and one of them is how to manifest on your new timeline. So it's actually like giving you the opportunity to do this activation where you really lean into like, what do you want? What do you see on your new timeline, even beyond the things and the stuff? Like, what is the feeling, right? And then you can also see everything that you don't want, everything you don't want, it really does exist it exists. The timeline you don't want exists for sure. It's just learning how to stay and be on that timeline you want and let everything else just fall away with like no problem kind of energy onto timeline B, timeline C, the timeline that is not for you. So we're not kind of sabotaging our way onto those timelines.
Yeah, no, makes absolute sense that
Hmm.
we need, but it's also taking action as well, because yes, we can get that information, but it's actually taking, as you were saying earlier, it's actually taking action on that
Hmm.
information.
Well, this is where, so a lot of times what happens is we will go into the Akashic Records and we will get clarity. We will get the clarity that perhaps, we are meant to be an intuitive coach, not a speaker's coach. And what usually is going to happen right after that is that we're going to have some things rise to the surface that just no longer exist on your timeline, right? Like the fear of visibility, the fear of rejection, whatever that thing is, the doubt, can I do this? Whatever was kind of hiding beneath the surface. Well, that's it. Like the timer went off and it's cooked, it's done. And so it just wants, it's like, I'm ready to leave. So it's going to show up and become really visible because it's ready to leave. So you're going to feel it. You're going to experience it. I mean, I've even had things happen where, in terms of me, rising up in terms of my own business and my own income, things that I've that were gifted to me to hear from 2 different family members that out of the blue, so to speak, that I had no idea were kind of part of our family history that had this like undercurrent of impact. These things where you're like, wow, why do I feel like this? Or why is this so important to me? And then, just out of the blue, right? Synchronistically, back to back, I heard things from a cousin and an aunt, which was just so fascinating. I remember really going through grief even as I was up leveling, as I was having these wins. I was like, why am I so sad? It's because this part of me that I had been for so long was leaving. So, giving myself time to grieve that. So I think it's important to also recognize if you feel those things come up, they're very normal. And we can go into the Akash to also learn and understand how to help clear them. Like I have some processes that I go through in that space, in that soul space. So we're even moving beyond the subconscious. We're moving into like the energy, your energetics. We're moving into even a systemic energy that maybe has been around for a very long time that you've picked up on or that you and your ancestors have operated from. So when we can release that, now you're kind of unbound, right? You're no longer tethered to that to operate from that place.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you brought up about ancestral, because a lot of stuff that in our lives is to do with ancestral and
Mm.
blocks from the past.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. It's these things where you might wonder, like, why do I feel like this about money? Right. Why do I feel like money can come in, but then it leaves immediately? Right. Well, we can go into the Akash and even see a past life thing or even an ancestral thing that occurred that helped to create that imprint that you felt it was safer to act from. Right. Like if something happened, like let's say that you had your ancestors had been very wealthy and then something happened and maybe they lost all of it, maybe they got rejected because of it. Well, you might have learned it was safer to not hold on to that, right? It was safer to let it go than to be rejected. I mean, I've seen that, one of my clients, I remember clearly we saw his wound was that if he moved into his 6-figure months, he would be rejected. He was just like, that was devastating to think that the people he currently had as friends, as family, they wouldn't like him anymore. And so when we were able to release that through the Akash, he went on to do multi six figures in a weekend. Because it was no longer a one-to-one situation. Like, that story was no longer the thing that needed to run the show.
And he didn't lose family or friends over it.
He did not. That's the thing, is that it no longer became a fear, because when he recognized the freedom that the people who were meant to be in his life and love him would, no matter what, then he released the need for anyone to stay. And in doing so, I mean, it's just a fear, it's not reality. Of course, the people who are meant to be there, his family, his friends who do love him, are right there. There was no rejection. It's the idea of it. It's the undercurrent that is driving our actions, which are creating our results.
Yeah. So it's so fascinating when you start talking and going into the Akashic Records. So how do people work with you? I know you say that you can guide them into the Akashic Records.
Yeah, so I do have a mastermind, which I actually have on sort of a holiday special right now for 3 months. And it's a space where you get to really dive in and learn how to access this space for yourself and get practice in a really beautiful community with others who are doing the same thing. The whole trajectory is towards manifesting. So everything we're doing is moving us towards manifesting. It's getting really clear on what you really want. It's helping you to clear out any of the things and the sabotage and the fears, and then to get into motion, into co-creation, into, listening to the synchronicities and saying yes to the opportunities and learning to discern what is for you with excitement and maybe a little trepidation versus what is kind of you're resisting out of fear. So when we can understand those differences, we can move much quicker. So it's a really beautiful space to expand. And it's really fun hearing some of my clients who are like, yeah, I just manifested everything we talked about over the last year.
Yeah. And I think you hit on the key thing there, doing it with joy and fun.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, right. Yeah. I mean, I think we've learned that there needs to be a lot of fear and there needs to be a lot of stress. And I am not trying to bypass that. There are definitely some things in life and some things that happen outside of our control that is stressful, that is fearful. But I want us to understand, like, we're not sitting here, or a rabbit's not sitting out in nature stressing over the next tornado that might come, right? We're not stressing over if a tsunami is going to hit. Like, we're very conditioned to stress over certain things because we have been uh, educated that is how we're supposed to be, and that's how life is supposed to be, and maybe that's how it was for our parents, and that's how it was for our past generations. So we're coming into this new earth, we're coming into this place where we're coming back to our true nature, which is love, which is joyful. Many of us, I can't say everyone, because some people in childhood experience great trauma, but there may be even in there windows of, as a child, we kind of already know this innately. We know joy. We know unconditional love from the beginning. It's just the circumstances of being in earth and earth school that we chose for some reason that we kind of get these sort of these shields, on, or we get these interpretations of how the world works that kind of get overlaid over our true nature. So it's
Yeah.
allowing that mud to fall away, allow that sort of that lotus within the mud to come forward and to bloom again.
Yeah, I love that. I love
Mm.
lotuses, the fact they come from the mud. They
Yeah.
they come from the dark.
Hmm.
So as you know, I do guided meditations and ancient oracle cards, and each week I like
Mm.
to ask my guests whether they would like me to pull a card or do a guided meditation for them. But when I know that my guests can do things like cards. I like to ask my guests whether they would like to pull a card as well.
It's always a pleasure. I don't work with cards as much now, but every time I do, I'm like, oh, there it is. So I'm just going to lean into the collective energy of those who are here now and who are watching the replay, and just connecting into our Akashic fields together, pulling a card for our best and highest good and uplifting. That one wants to pop out right away. Okay, so this is a really beautiful deck. I'm just going to show this to you first. This one is the wheel. This is the Light Seers Tarot, just so we know who it's from. This is the Light Seers Tarot. I'm sure it'd be a really great gift for yourself or someone you know. I get a lot of my card decks off of Hay House. So this one is this beautiful wheel. Look, I'm wearing the orange. You got the orange. She's got the orange on. It looks like she even has some dice around her neck. She's in this yoga pose, right? So this one is the Light Seer is saying this is about change. This is about sort of destiny. This is about the chaos of creation. So I'm going to kind of just gather a little bit from the little book here. This is saying, get ready, sweet soul, for the wheel is about to gift you divine blessings. Synchronicity is afoot. So look for wonderful new opportunities to propel your life ahead. Kind of just what we were talking about. Be prepared for fortuitous meetings or a fork in the path that will change everything for the better. If you're open to spotting opportunity, it's yours for the taking. Just follow the breadcrumbs of serendipity and fate towards your happy ending. Remember that the wheel is always spinning and that things are never the same as they were before, right? We talked about that. It's spinning pretty fast. Learn to enjoy this constant regeneration and know that with every spin, we have the chance to cycle upward towards our own expansion and enlightenment. Trying to control the outcome of the Wheel of Fortune would prove to be impossible, so don't. Grab your lucky dice and see the spinning of the wheel for what it really is, all the beauty of a lifetime of experiences waiting to spring forth and be lived. So if we want to take a moment just to drop into that space of pure potential and delight as you look forward towards possibilities, towards the open road, towards newness, towards what's falling away, just notice what looks delightful, what change may be coming that is exciting, what might be a little bit scary, but that you want to say yes to, not letting it pass us by as we allow the transformative energies of fate help us to expand our experiences.
Beautiful, beautiful card, and so ties in with what we were talking about.
Right? Always. Yeah.
So ties in. So I'm now going to pull a card as well because you pulled cards. So I'm going to pull a card for you.
Love it.
Everyone watching. So as always, when I do the cards for what we need to know for our highest good at this moment in time, because even though I work with the past, when we go into the past, it's so we can learn and heal from it so it doesn't affect us in the present. And when I take people into the future, it's to and understand the possible future there is, get the insights and guidance so we come back to the present and we don't worry about the future. So Steph and everyone who's watching this live or the replay need to know okay, one wants to come out. Wondrous universe, walking beauty.
Oh, beautiful.
I mean, we're talking about the Akashic Records, we're talking about the universe, and how wonderful the universe is, and that when we walk in that beauty and that wonder and that joy and that imagination and playfulness of the universe and what possibilities are out there, it really does help bring those things into us. It really does help us manifest those things because we're seeing the wonder that is out there. So yeah, for you, Steph, this really is, walking in the beauty of what you're doing and the wondrous universe you're working with. And for everyone who's watching, it is taking that trust into the universe and knowing that it has got your back. And when you walk in the beauty of that, then amazing things can happen for you.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's very grounding, it's very satisfying. You can kind of relax into that Beautiful.
Exactly. And I just love the way, the cards always come out absolutely perfect
They do.
for every show. So, Steph, do you have any final thoughts, insights, or words of wisdom you'd like to leave our viewers with?
Yeah, absolutely. If you really do feel that you are not feeling aligned, if you feel that you are at a crossroads, if you feel that you are uncertain about the future, just understand or imagine, just like that beautiful path, that you are on this path of beauty, that you can choose to step onto the path of beauty, that you can open yourself up to divine guidance or a guide to walk beside you, to help guide you and show you the way. And if you're walking even closer to your own heart, to your own lit up heart, that can never guide you wrong. So as we lean into that trust, it allows us to maybe let the shoulders relax back, take a deeper breath, sleep a little bit better at night, leaning into that trusting space.
Beautiful. Thank you so, so much. So
Hmm.
I hope everyone you've enjoyed this conversation, found it insightful, because I know I definitely have. So if people want to connect with you, Steph, how do they do that? And you mentioned a free gift earlier, and have you got anything coming up?
Yes. Yes. So you can always find me on Facebook, mostly Steph Zito, Steph, Zito, Zito on Facebook. You can find my website, stephaniezito.com, and see what I've got going on. I do have a freebie, this wealth bundle, which includes four different sessions. One, which is a wealth hypnosis to get into the subconscious. There's how to rewrite your money story. Like I mentioned, leaning into manifesting on a new timeline and something else. You can go and check it out. So it's for free here. When you just sign up with the link, it's already going to automatically make it free when you sign up. And I do have a beautiful challenge coming up in January. I actually need to get you the link. I don't have it coming up. I don't have it here yet, but I'm calling it the Artemis Challenge. And it's
Mhm.
looking to help you as an entrepreneur to hit your goal with precision into multi six figures. So I'm very excited to bring in the energetics and solid strategy to help you move into that place. You picture the Artemis, the archer, right? We just hit that with precision. So that's the path we're on. We're not sneaking over here and going over there. We're following the path.
Beautiful. Yeah, and as soon as I get the link, I will put that in the description so people can literally get that. So thank you so
Beautiful.
much, Steph, for sharing your journey and wisdom with us. It's been such an inspiring conversation and,
Mm.
as always, so insightful. So thank you so, so much.
Thank you, Ray. It's always a pleasure. I appreciate you.
Oh, no, it's wonderful. And of course, thank you to everyone who's watching as well. And of course, if you'd like to deepen your connection with the angels, then you'll find my free 5-day angel connection journey linked in the description. And there you'll also find details about my Angel Wings membership and the Soul Path Discovery program if you feel called to explore further. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode, you'll love all the other conversations in the Angels and Destiny playlist. My shows are filled with guidance, healing, and inspiring stories to support your spiritual journey with some amazing guests. And you can even see some of Steph's previous shows. So check it out after this show. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube where you will find the playlist, then don't forget to subscribe. Click that bell button to be notified of when I go live. Share this video with anyone who might need little angelic guidance today. Because remember, every time you like, share, comment on anything I share, any of my guests share, like Steph or my previous guests, you really are helping being part of that beautiful web of energy, bringing in that unconditional love and a beautiful new life and a new world for all of us. And of course, remember, you are never alone on your path. The angels are always with you. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.